What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the weekly roundup. We are here on week. What is this? 14. This is episode 14, but this is what week 16
We
of the year.
yes,
Yeah,
16 I believe. Yeah.
I think we missed two.
Yeah, we missed two. Anyways, my name is Manny from Manny Reads Comics. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and I am joined here by two of my co-hosts. Nick, how's it going, man?
I'm great. You can find me over at Vinyl Casket Comics on Instagram, Vinyl Casket on Twitch, and The Vinyl Casket on YouTube.
And Carlos is my second co-host here. How's it going?
What's going on, everybody? This is Carlos from Omni City Comics, and you can find me on Instagram under Omni City Comics. I keep it simple. It's the only channel that I got.
Right? No,
He just has a
we're
real
trying to
job.
convince him to do a YouTube channel, but he's lazy.
Lazy man.
No, but before we get into what we usually do on this show, I want to remind anybody here that we do have a current giveaway going for the next 2 weeks. The books that
Yes.
we're giving away are the X Deaths of Wolverine, the Stormbreaker variant, and the Scotty variant of Devil's Reign #1. So the giveaway details are in the description, so make sure you read that and pay attention to our next week's anticipated section, which is at the very end, and get some points, win some books. But
100%.
anyways, moving forward, we do a couple things here. We go through our top 3 books, explain why we love these books. We talk about them. Then we add them to our bracket for the top book of the month, and eventually we're going to reach to the top book of the year. Then after we're done with those top 3, we go into our disappointment section, where we just talk about anything comic related that we just didn't like for this week. And then after that, we go back up to talk about our favorite covers of the week, and we finish it out with our most anticipated book of the week for next week. So we got a full show going. We finally got everybody back here. So Nick, let's start you off. What's your top 3?
Let's hear it, man.
So we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna give you guys the hot scoop that I'm pretty sure that finally it happened once this year so far. I think I'm gonna have Manny agree with all my picks
That's a bold statement.
and not think
All
I
the
have
picks,
terrible
though.
takes.
That's the bold statement right there. Is you said all the picks. I mean, if you could say at least one of the picks, maybe.
No.
but-
There was 1 week where you were like, I'm not mad at a single thing Nick said today, and like that is I think I got it. So we're gonna start off with my number 3, which is issue 2 of Superman and Batman World's
Done.
Finest. This is written by Mark Waid and drawn by Mora. Amazing art throughout the entire book. This is a book that I was skeptical about picking up the second issue because I liked the first issue, but I didn't know, like, is this gonna be just like kind of a gimmick book? Like a lot of the Superman Batman titles don't really catch my interest after like 1 or 2 issues. It's like kind of just like telling this weird story and like this thing in the past because they're almost always set in like the past.
Right.
Like
Yep.
almost every Superman Batman story like combo is in the past. I don't really like very iffy about what I like that. Like Marvel's doing a lot of that right now, and I don't like it. Like they're like the Ben Reilly stuff, but like the X-Men stuff, not so much. But that's what I made my number 3 because I thought they did that theme, that trope, very well. I was very invested. I loved the way that Mark Waid wrote Dick Grayson and Supergirl here. I thought that was incredible. And the artwork throughout, from beginning to end, was awesome. We got freaking a whole bunch of characters: Doom Patrol, Batman, Superman, Billy Batson. It was just a good book. That's why it's my number 3.
That was a
I know
surprise
you guys got it.
to me, seeing Billy Batson show up.
Billy I didn't expect him to come up at all,
Yeah.
and then to have his like mouth shut off. That was perfect.
Well, when they started mentioning magic, I knew that he was going to show up because he's always like Superman is weak to magic, but the Superman that's not weak to magic is Shazam.
Well, I'm not gonna try to keep any kind of suspense or anything like that. This is my number 1 book of the week. Is World's Finest #2. And for many of the same reasons that you just said.
You fraud. You fraud. You thief. You
Is it yours too?
It's my number one pick.
Oh, you guys are
Yes,
so
please.
lame.
It had to be the art humanizing Wade mixed with Dan Mora. Like they are the perfect combo to humanize Batman. Like they just made him see so much emotion in just one scene, and like you never see this emotion from Batman. You can do like a whole series, Tom King, and not get as much emotion as you do in this one book. You know, that was one of my favorite things. Wade is a great storyteller.
I have
do
I have a
need to
question
read
for you, Manny.
more.
Is this the first thing you're reading from Wade?
No, I've read a couple of other things. Champions, Carlos, you're the one that let me know that Champions was Wade. I didn't realize that.
I didn't know that either.
But I loved Champions, and it's one of the reasons that Miss Marvel is one of my favorite characters now.
Mm-hmm.
So like realizing that that's Wade, it all clicks. It makes sense. He's an excellent storyteller.
Yeah,
one of my favorites now.
His Flash
Absolutely.
stuff and his Daredevil stuff are like top tier.
And I need to know what happened between Supergirl and Robin. Like I need to
Yes.
know.
Yes. So believe it or not, this actually sparked my hope that somehow we get, even if it's like a one shot. Yeah, I will pay the $4.99 like extra page one shot to see whatever adventure it is that Supergirl and Robin like got into that led to to them basically being like mad at each other.
And she mentioned pants. That's what gets
No,
me
the
like
pants
really,
thing
really
was-
intrigued. Is like, why are you wearing pants? Like, what?
No. It's because back then, originally, like Robin would run around in.
No,
the
I
little
get
shorts.
that. I get that, but like, why? Like, why is she fixated on his his lower
Because it's
part?
like an ongoing
Where
joke
you know?
that he wore tights and like wore
Like, I understand that he had short shorts, but like short
But,
shorts
like,
or whatever, you know. Like,
but like Jason Todd and Tim Drake have both made fun of it in the comics. Like,
but she's not
Dave
making fun of
him.
I don't think she's making fun of it. She's like saying like, "I'm surprised you're wearing pants." Like she's pissed off the whole time. She's not joking. You know what I mean? That's what got me intrigued. Like, because you're right. Everyone makes fun of Robin for the short shorts, but she's not joking. I didn't get any indication that she's trying to have a fun time here.
But yeah, man, I mean, whatever like like sidekick mission it is that they went on, I want to read that book, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, like the reason why it made my number one pick, like you mentioned, Manny, what entire runs try to do for Batman to humanize him, like you mentioned, for us to like connect with him. Wade and Mora were able to do that in one panel.
Yeah.
And in this issue, spoilers for anyone that's watching, but basically Superman got hit with radiation poisoning, and he's like moments away from dying. And something that I've never seen before, and you guys can like correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen Superman being operated on. I don't mean just like
no.
I don't mean just like them being able to somehow like inject him with something or give him like a little cut. I mean full on like opening him up for like doing heart surgery, man. That's like kind of what took place in this issue, and it's being done by the Doom Patrol to try and extinguish the radiation, the kryptonite poisoning in his blood, and they open Soups up like completely. You really do see them going on full surgery.
Was it red kryptonite? It was red kryptonite, right?
Yeah.
It was in his bloodstream, so that might be why they're able to open him up.
No, they have the red solar panel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's definitely a big part of why they were actually to do surgery on him. I've just never seen that before. In a comic, and it was.
I'm excited that it was the Doom Patrol that did that though, because like any like group of people were gonna do some crazy shit like that to Superman, like that is the group of crazies.
Yeah, and just how everybody kind of used like their powers and their abilities to be able to basically save Superman. It was great, and it was during this scene that you see Batman legitimately worried for like his friend. And what like just gave it that extra bit of like uh uh touching moment was when Bruce called him Cal.
Yeah.
Like he didn't say Superman, he didn't say Clark, he called him Cal. With and he had that worried look on his face, beautifully drawn by Dan Mora, beautifully told
The
by
colors.
Mark Waid.
Oh,
Yeah, everything was great. And the last quick thing that I want to say about this, I mentioned it during our episode where the issue number 1 was my top pick, and that's that this is really like basic comic storytelling, and I mean that in the most positive way. This is like
back
what
to
comics.
basics. This is
Yeah, it's just basics. It feels like classic comic book storytelling. You get an adventure, events unfold in a great at a great pace, basically.
It's like amazing Silver Age comics.
Yeah,
it's
I would
like
say
how
Golden
basketball
Age
players.
because it feels a little bit like more refined than
yeah,
Golden Age.
with a
but-
modern twist. I mean, not a modern twist, but a modern
Art and all that,
art.
everything. It's like basketball players say, like, you gotta focus on the fundamentals. This is exactly what that is. Like,
Yes,
all
exactly,
it is, you know.
exactly.
One of the things back to Waid is just like these are new stories. Like them going back in time, the way they went back in time makes no sense. It's a new thing that I've never seen before, and like we always want new things from comics. But anytime they show something new, the first thing I can think of is like Spider-Man Beyond is something new, but it was crap. Like, and most of the new things are crap. And this is like I've never seen anything in this book, and everything is just it works beautifully.
So my
Everything.
favorite thing was when the guy that leads Doom Patrol was going over what's happening to all these different people right now, and Batman goes, "You're spying on the superheroes?"
Good idea.
Like he's not already doing it. Like he's not
Right.
already been doing
That
it.
may be where he got the idea. That's what I was thinking too. Is like that may be where he got the idea. It was also very like anybody else did this, it would be cringy. But in this book, it worked beautifully. When each of the Doom Patrol was like telling the backstory of the origin of this new villain or whatever, like
Yeah.
they each pulled apart and like they were all
Yes.
talking. It's like this is very cringy, but also I like this a lot.
Yeah,
like, I like this so much.
Yeah, because they all went on this mission to basically research like where this villain came from, and they're all putting their intel together. But again, it just unfolded really well, man.
All right, so that's the end of the show, guys. Good job.
Yeah,
World,
it.
I
world
love how
finest.
I just
Batman,
broke
Superman.
everybody's top 3.
That's hilarious. No, but
All right, Manny, you want to go or Carlos?
no,
You want to go
Carlos,
with their
go ahead.
number 3?
Yeah. So my number 3 pick is actually a book that, thanks to you guys, I decided to actually jump into and like take the plunge, and I'm very happy that I did. My number 3 pick is Slumber number 2.
Okay. Yes.
Like, dude, it was
That was all me. I was telling everybody to get that was all me.
We can go back to the chats and find out that it was me, but it's whatever.
I'll give you guys 50-50. Shake on it.
75-25. Got it. All right.
But yeah, man. You know what I really like about this comic and this series, man, is that, like you mentioned, we ask for like new things, and even though there are elements to this story that we've seen in other comic books, the way that it's put together, the way that the art is done by Vanessa Cardinali, I'm very new to her art. I don't believe that I've ever seen it before. The writer, Tyler Burton Smith, did a great job of putting elements that we've seen before into creating this comic and telling a story, and doing things that I haven't seen before. So it's refreshing. A quick synopsis: basically, our main character, her name is Stetson. She is a nightmare like detective / slayer. So when people have like bad nightmares, she goes into their dreamscape and hunts down those nightmares so that people can be at peace and they can sleep. But the whole reason why she's doing this is because she is after a particular nightmare. called Valkyria, I think is how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
And this nightmare, it's inferred that did something to her daughter. I think that this nightmare maybe took possession of her daughter, and her daughter ended up, dying somehow. But this demon that she's after jumps from one person's nightmares to another's, and just like does atrocities. She's basically a serial killer, right? And in this issue, our main character Stetson continues her hunt for this like nightmare being, and there's a detective that is investigating some of the murders that have been happening, that are caused by this nightmare, Valkyria. And in the first issue, Valkyria actually takes possession of this detective, and this issue opens up with this detective waking up, from this nightmare that he thinks where he like murdered somebody, right? And spoilers, but when he goes to his fridge to like open up his fridge in the middle of the night or the morning to like get something out, dude, the fridge is just filled with the body parts of the person that he murdered.
But you're also skipping on the best part, was the line like in between that is that he woke up and his girlfriend or whatever or wife was like, oh, 3 rounds, that was awesome. Like he just murdered a bunch of people and then somehow ended up having the best sexual encounter of his entire life. Like what?
That's what made it a little unbelievable, because I was like, she didn't go and get like coffee, get some creamer or something. Like, come on, she would have opened the door, the fridge.
Dude, but we also don't know if he's seeing those things in the fridge if they're actually there.
True.
Yeah, we don't. But the imagery was disturbing as hell, man. When I flipped the page and I saw that, I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. And
it's the right amount of crazy and cartoonish.
Yes,
like it
that makes it even.
It looks gory while also like being like, oh, this is like artistically really creative.
Yeah, and that makes it even more disturbing to me, I think. So it's just a great job done by the artist, and I want to give props to the colorist, Simon Robbins. He does a beautiful job of using colors to depict whenever someone's having a dream or a nightmare, right? It's very, the colors are
bright.
They're bright. They're bright, but they're not like happy bright.
It reminds me of that issue of Radiant Black where they did all the psychedelics.
Yeah, it feels
coloring.
It feels psychedelic in a terrifying way. It's hard to explain for anybody that's watching. Honestly, give this comic a try, even if it's just the first issue, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, just seeing Stetson, wanting to hunt down this nightmare because she has a personal, mission. Like this is personal to her. This has to do with her daughter. And there's a lot more mystery behind, what actually happened, and I'm really interested in finding out, more about what exactly happened between her and this demon. Stetson's a cool character. She's badass. The dialogue is great. The pacing is great, which I'm always looking for. But yeah, that's what's my number 2 pick.
I think my favorite part about this book is because it was kind of hinted on in the first book, but in this one it was definitely shown, is that she is talking to herself, like literally the word bubbles. She's hearing them. She's hearing those word bubbles. So it's like she talks back to that word bubble.
I thought that, but I don't know. I go back and forth with like, is it her talking to herself or is it her elf like looking friend that like when she's in public, no one can see him and it's him talking in her head.
That'd be.
But I don't know which one's right.
Well, I don't know, because when people go over to get
he's there.
Yeah, like they saw him. Like when they're in her office.
Yeah,
they were like, "What is are we just not gonna acknowledge the goblin-looking guy?" Like that's
yeah.
So
I thought that as well. And I'm interested. Is she talking to herself, or is there another
like
I don't
something
know.
else in there.
Yeah,
That could be a good twist.
Who
As
knows?
of right now, I think the main consensus is that she is talking to herself. But
Correct.
that would
Yeah.
be a really good twist.
It was
It's like,
really good. It was well written. I'm really enjoying it.
Me too, man. And like I said, I gotta thank the two of you for that, because I had it on my radar, but I didn't quite pull the trigger. And after hearing good things about the first issue, decided to jump on it. And it's definitely a book that I'm gonna continue. And I thought it was gonna be like a quick mini, but it's actually an ongoing. So
Yeah.
so I'm like, I'm in. I'm in
Yeah.
for now.
So
Yeah.
this is everything I feel like DC wanted Soul Plumber to be, but it's everything that it's not. It's good. Soul
I'm
Plumber, the
hoping
artwork was like try to do that same thing, try to be cartoony and
Mhm.
gory, but just came off looking like ugly and weird. And
Mhm.
the story, the characters weren't like enjoyable, but were supposed to be strange and unusual. And
Mhm.
it's just everything that DC, like, oh, we're gonna do DC horror, we're gonna do this crazy cartoony little. It wasn't good, and this is
Mhm.
everything that I feel like that niche audience that like Soul Plumber was billed at wanted
Yeah.
correctly.
I'm really just hoping that none of our viewers here ever actually read Soul Plumber. They knew better than to stay.
I've read what
just stay away.
2 or 3 issues, and I regret it.
So, okay,
But man,
for my number 3,
what's up, man?
I went with Animal Castle number 5.
Okay,
Nice.
I said last week that Animal Castle might not even hit my top 3 ever again, but this is the ending of the arc, which of course it just ended on a pretty high note. The animals basically, spoilers, the animals win their little small battle, but it comes at a cost. It does. Every revolution, the small battles doesn't mean that you win the war, and that's exactly what's going on here. We see the dark side of all these animals like that. I really love that this whole book isn't just, hey, we're gonna do our best to win something, and we're gonna get it, and we got it, and now here we are, we're gonna get everything. It's like, no, we're gonna do our best. Now we're gonna freeze. Some of us are gonna die, and did we actually win anything in the end? And also, when given the chance to be a horrible, human being, will you take that chance? And that's what we see here, And Miss B is our protagonist, and she doesn't, she sticks true to her hero character. She is the leader. She's telling everybody not to fall into those dark sides. Is anybody listening? You need to read it to find out. But another thing, and the best part about this was Mr. Two, the dog, like the second in command. He made me remember that the bad guys are human as well.
Dude, I know
I did
exactly
not
what
see
panel
that
you're talking
coming.
about. I know exactly what panel you're talking about.
We just see him go back home. Basically, I'll say that much. We see him go back home, and I was like, oh, he's a person too. Like, to put it in animal terms, whatever. But like, he's a person too. Like each side, kind of like Seven Secrets, each side has reasons that they're fighting whatever side. So seeing that really just pushed it up to my number 3 pick. I loved it. It was a pretty good book, and it's the end of the first arc, and now it's going on to the next one. So,
Yep.
Perfect time to start it if you haven't read it.
Yep. Spoilers. Just gonna go into it. Kind of skip. It was my number 2 pick. Because dude, I've been loving this issue from. I mean, I've been loving this comic from the very beginning. It's made my list a couple times. It's even been my number 1 pick. I think once. But dude, like the politics and the situations that these animals are put in. There's a lot of really heavy themes in this book. The art I've mentioned is very Disney fairy tale like, and you mix that with the very heavy themes that are being addressed here, and it just makes it for such a compelling read, man. And more, I'm feeling that this comic book is more like a novel that I'm slowly reading.
Yeah,
It's very, it's very dialogue heavy, but it's not cumbersome to get through. I just find myself really being like lost in the dialogue, and I just go through page after page, and it I love it.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because I opened up the book, the very first page. I was like, because it's just so much dialogue. So I was like, oh man, I don't really feel like doing this right now. But in the end, it's my top 3. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, I really do love everything about this book, and honestly, I think it's one of the most unique books out there. And I'm really happy that it's an indie book because I have a love for indie books, but I think that Animal Castle is doing something really unique that no other book out there is doing. For anybody that liked Stray Dogs, like dude, there was just this huge love for Stray Dogs and hype. I'm I will say that this is better than Stray Dogs in my opinion. And if you enjoyed Stray Dogs, and I'm not knocking Stray Dogs in any way. I love Stray Dogs, but if you enjoyed that,
How many times can Carlos say Stray Dogs in 10 minutes? Let's see.
I honestly think that you'll love this book. But yeah, that's why it was my number 2 pick. And I'm happy that it looks like it is going to be an ongoing, right?
It is definitely an ongoing because there's no way that it's just going to end at 5, and there's no way that it's going to end on number 6 either.
Yeah, 6 or 7. So
yeah.
So
I'm giving it 12 issues.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Most likely, no more than 12 to 15 if it's going to end.
But it also might, like Stray Dogs, have spinoffs.
We'll see.
Yeah. But dude, honestly, a good 12, 15 issues, I think that would be perfect, and I'd be really happy with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Nick, number 2.
And you're 1 for 1.
I'm 1 for
That's
1.
right.
All right. So number 2, and this is something I'm very excited. Something that I've been talking about, and Manny, like and me, have had very deep conversations about what is the future, when are these gonna happen.
You're already done. That's not gonna be a top book.
18 of Power Rangers.
No.
Damn, Manny
is back with everything. So when this cover was originally previewed, they put it out, right? And I was like, Manny, like, we're gonna get Andros.
I didn't believe it. I was like, no, there's no way.
And I'm like, dude, look at the cover. And he's like, no. So the recently released Hasbro Power Rangers Legacy line, the toys, they just released like a couple months ago Andros in the cloak from his first appearance in episode 1 of Power Rangers in Space. And this is the cloak that he's wearing, and that was him in this goddamn issue. So I called it. I knew it. I put the pieces together. That, just the excitement right there was number 2. Like in the back, as I'm reading it, I was screaming. I was like, yes, this is real. Like first off, if you guys aren't reading Power Rangers from all the way from Kyle Hagen's Radiant Black fame, his original run is stellar from what I've heard. And Ryan Parrott's 2 series that he's been doing that are now, one of them is in the hands of Matt Grom, have been fantastic. This man is just really doing fan service at a whole level I've never even seen before. And just individually, this issue was good. Like, it starts off on a blast, following the Omega Rangers, really like developing them as characters and like their day-to-day life, and like they're living on this paradise, and they're gonna go do their job as Omega Rangers and protect the galaxy. Like, just basic, like regular, like this is no ongoing storyline at this point. Go do their thing. We get this crazy dragon creature with this triple mouth, like this triple jaw thing, and like they summon the freaking Omega Zords. It was just really good. It was just a really good issue that led into freaking Andros. He's like, I'm a Power Ranger, and he holds up the morpher, and I'm like, dude. And we saw his sister. We saw his sister, so I knew this was happening.
I just didn't want it to happen. Like the fact that there are other Rangers currently existing, it at first didn't make sense, but then it was like, oh, obviously they are, because he had, like, whenever they met up with Andros in the TV show, like they had morphers, so it made sense that they do exist.
They even said in the TV show that Zordon had trained him and Zane
Yeah.
previously.
And then also the whole shattered grid means that anything can happen now. And
Yeah.
so like once I figured that out, I'm like, okay, I can accept it more, but I didn't want it yet.
But
I want all the
also-
other stuff first.
Also, his sister, when we saw his sister, she had already killed a ranger.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
Like I had said
it
that
might have been
like,
one of his teammates.
the SPD people were talking, like referencing that like there's range, like they can be rangers.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of established that there's other rangers or possibility that rangers exist throughout the whole galaxy,
Yeah.
universe, galaxy, whatever. So sick, so sick. I hope we get a green. A green Space Ranger.
We did have a green Space Ranger. Lost
No.
Galaxy.
No. Like Space Ranger. Like
I
a
see
color
what
that
you
we
mean.
don't already
Yeah.
have. Like,
I see.
and this could be like the story about, you know how like they did Psycho Green?
That'll be probably the dead one that Andromeda
Yeah.
killed. Or
Well, I
Astronomer.
think there's a whole other team that was already established in some side story, but
The only thing I'll say about this book that you know, I liked it. It was good. Like it wasn't bad at all. But to keep it as vague as possible for Carlos's sake, because he's being real slow about it. But there's a baby that ages, and I just want to know like where'd the baby get the clothes? Like that made no sense to me. Like, it's just like baby wrapped up in a little swaddle or whatever, and then the next scene it's like a little toddler with clothes, and I'm like, did she the robot, like, did she put some clothes on it or something?
but like it could have just done it itself. It's an alien. We don't know.
An alien. Exactly. If they explain it like that, that's great. But as of right now, there's no explanation. But no, it was a good book.
Dude, that dragon creature was sick.
Like you said, there were like 2 books in my pull list today this week that were actually bad. The rest, they weren't top 3 quality, but they were good. Everything was good.
Right. So we already went over my number 2 and Carlos is number 2. What's your number 2, Manny?
All right, my number 2. DC is doing good this week. So Nightwing 91 is my number 2 pick.
Right. It was my number 4.
That Flash crossover.
It was so good. You know what? The absence of Redondo was, I definitely missed him, but it wasn't too bad.
I said this in my review on my channel. The same thing. Like I thought it was Redondo, and then like when I was looking, I was like, wait.
Oh, I knew it wasn't immediately. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's not Redondo at all.
It's not that far off.
It's pretty far off. The colorist might be different too, because everything about it is pretty.
It was, but it's still that vibe. Like it feels like it fits.
Yeah, Tom Taylor still wrote it, so definitely the same vibe. But in this issue, Nightwing and Flash easily defeat KG Beast. They find out where the Agente Funebre or something like that.
Yeah,
they find out where that person is, and they take him down. That's just a quick 1-issue thing. But the best part about this book was just the heart-to-heart that Flash had with Nightwing. Basically Flash is saying, like, you need to stop fighting common sense. You're living a dangerous life. I live a dangerous life. Nightwing is also inferring, like, hey, how do you live this life with 2 kids, and a wife, And so he's like, so Flash is basically saying, just make it happen, live your life while you can. Everyone else knows it. It's time for you to do it, So that's pretty much it. That's only the reason that I really liked it. Also, Wally's reaction to KG Beast, to seeing KG Beast, that was awesome.
Oh, he was fucking furious.
He took his arm off. I was like, yes. That's all I wanted to see. It was like, you're never gonna point a gun at Nightwing's head again. That was a beautiful line.
Dude, like you know what I really loved about this issue, and you hit it right on the head, that they easily defeated KG Beast and like all of these villains.
If you have Flash on your team, you can easily defeat anybody. That's the thing. You should be able to easily defeat anybody.
Right. And I hate it when that doesn't happen. And look, we've had this, everybody has had this discussion over and over. Superman can just beat everybody and then crime win. Yeah, I get it. But it made sense in this issue that they just took him down, easily. Yeah, uh, you know, the Flash got beat up a little bit here and there, but
And
it
it makes
was
sense the way he went down, honestly.
exactly. But it makes sense, But for the most part, yeah, when you have the Flash, like, dude, you should just be able to just sweep, And I really did enjoy that. That's the path that they took, but it didn't feel cheap. It didn't feel boring. And like you said, it led to some really heartfelt moments between Flash and Nightwing. It's I don't know what else to say about the Nightwing run and Tom Taylor and the creative team
He's
behind
doing
the
a
book.
great job.
That hasn't been said already without sounding like a broken record. Like,
Tom Taylor makes our list almost every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to add it on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't
Counter.
even realize.
Counter.
Yeah.
Counter. Tom Taylor counter.
Dude, he literally is like on a roll.
That makes 8, I think. 8 out of 13. So damn, good job.
So going into this issue, I was kind of annoyed that they were bringing up KG Beast again. At the beginning of Nightwing returning as Nightwing, before they kind of like rebooted him and like sent him fully back, like when he had just gotten back from being Rick or whatever it was. They had him have another showdown with KG Beast, and then like he left the girl that he was like dating as he was Rick or whatever, and like that whole last before Tom Taylor took over. The last big thing was that he took on KG Beast and overcame his fear of everything that he went through for like the last year and a half, and like defeated. Like, why would KG Beast even come back to even go near Nightwing? Like, you got your ass handed to you. You almost died.
And they made him look like a complete idiot in this.
And then you come back, you already have like been embarrassed.
Yeah.
And like we all know, like KG Beast makes it like a big deal, like this honor and the respect on his name, and he's the best, and then this, that, and the other thing. You've been embarrassed. Like, give it up. Just stay. I would distance myself as far away. Like, why would you keep going after something that you've already like humiliated yourself with?
It makes sense when you look at the storyline of like the top assassins and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it happened again, because this wasn't a Nightwing faces against KG Beast. This is more of Nightwing's loved ones see the person that hurt him, and they have a chance, or now Flash has a chance to.
Dude, I'm loving Wally West.
So it was again number 2 pick. Just great to see both the heart of Wally, showing his love for Nightwing, and like by defeating KG Beast, and again showing his love to Nightwing by talking, having that heartfelt moment of, you just need to go for it. Barbara's your girl. Make it happen.
Yep.
So of course, Barbara's probably gonna die soon.
Damn. Yeah, she's hella
Either
gonna die.
Barbara's gonna die or
yeah,
Dick
dude.
Dick Grayson.
100%. You know what? 100% Barbara's gonna die. Fuck.
Just thought
no.
Why did you have to bring that up, man?
The Batgirl's title was for us to know that the Batgirl mantle can go on without her. That's it. That's the show. Good job, guys.
Hey, you know what's the worst part? What's the worst part is that he's gonna propose to her
and die.
And in the next issue, she's gonna die. And it's gonna be in his arms. When he's like 3 minutes away from saving her. God damn it, Manny.
I really hope you're wrong, and then all of this isn't a thing. I really hope we're just over speculating, because I don't want that.
Let's just not talk about it. Let's just talk about Nick's number 1 pick.
Over speculating. This is Tom Taylor. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Over speculating. Before we move on to my number 1 pick, I just wanted to say that the way that issue ended with Lady Shiva was like was clever, and I'm like, oh shit, we got more coming. Whenever she shows up, it's bad.
When I saw her, I was like, oh shit, it's about to get serious, and it was just her saying like, hey, we're not coming after him. He's untouchable, and that was it. I was like, oh damn.
Which you know what? Actually, I do have one last point. As much as I have said that, hey, this has been a fantastic run. There's nothing else good that that I can find that can be said. I hope that this does put to rest the whole, hey, someone's going to be trying to assassinate him every single issue, though, you know? And I really
But
do
like
hope.
he did that to himself by coming out as a public figure in
No, right,
Bloodhaven.
I get it. Trust me, I absolutely get it. I just mean that I'm hoping that we can go back to two main story points that
We never finished the Heartless guy, right?
yeah. So exactly the two main plot points that I'm hoping that we can revisit that really set this whole run in motion is him revitalizing Bloodhaven and going back to that storyline, and I hope that something really does get done. We see some, I don't know, construction, some projects. We see the changes that he's really wanted to bring to Bloodhaven actually happen in the comic, because we've seen Bruce in countless Batman titles and Batman runs supposedly start projects and that he's going to revitalize the neighborhood, and we never really see anything happen. So my hope is that, again, we revisit that plot point, and we also get back to Heartless, and we start seeing that showdown start to build. So that's my hope going forward.
Right. Number one.
Go for Nick.
Number one. We're following a trend here. We got issue 781 of Flash.
Manny, 3 for 3 or not 3 for 3?
He's 1 for 3. Good job.
1 for 3. You're a liar.
You called it.
You're a liar. I know you love Power Rangers. So I've said it in my review. I think I said it on my Instagram post also. This has been the best individual Flash issue since Williamson left the title. Hands down. 100%.
Wasn't that a while ago that Williamson left the title?
Yeah. I think did Adams take over directly?
Yeah.
So since Adams been on the run, this has been the best Flash issue. And I think there's been some highlights. There's been some good issues, some good individual issues, some fun issues. I've enjoyed it, right? This, hands down, in my opinion, has been the best individual Flash issue since stuff that Williamson did. It was really great. The artwork was awesome. I liked how it was just like a kind of a one shot that's leading into future things. It was like kind of like a day in the life, because since Wally's taken over, he's kind of like realizing like, oh shit, like I kind of haven't like been paying attention to the Flash family. Like I did all this work. We brought everybody back. We had this whole big thing with death metal and me having the chair and everything. And like the mantle's passed down to me, and Jesse Quick's back. Max Mercury's back. Jay's there. You got freaking the Chinese Flash. You got Wallace. You got Impulse. We got
everybody.
Now your kids got their powers back. Like everyone's there. The only one we're missing is Godspeed. Everyone's there.
Barry's not there.
Well, Barry's alive. He's just in the Omniverse, whatever it's called, but he's alive. So like he's like, shit, like I've been neglecting everybody. So he's like, I gotta go meet up with Wallace. And he kept calling him Ace, which was hilarious.
But also that was one of my negatives from this. Is like Wallace made it very clear he doesn't like Ace. And Wally didn't give a shit.
But it's Wally and Wallace. Like it's like that weird continuity thing from New 52.
No, I get it. It's just
so Wally's obviously not gonna
Wallace.
But Wally being a nut job is not gonna call him Wallace.
Yeah, that rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like that.
I feel like it fit Wally's personality very well. So Wally shows up, like is like sending him letters to get him out of class. He's like at the Teen Titans thing. The person who's substitute teacher is Roy Harper. One of freaking Wally West's other best friends besides Nightwing. So like he literally like tricks Wallace into leaving class. Roy has no idea what's going on. I thought that was hilarious. He's making jokes about how uh Dick Grayson used to be like, holy Willikers, Batman. Because he takes them and they end up at the what was it, Manny? You read it, right?
Yeah.
The Fortress of Doom or the Dome of Doom, or he goes, holy Dome of Doom. And Wallace is like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Why holy what? And he's like, oh, just next time you see Nightwing in class, just be like, holy. It was really funny. It was really well written. It was funny. This heart to heart, them going back and forth. Wallace not want, kind of being like this is boring. Like, did you really waste my time? Like, why are we doing this? And at the end being like, you know what? I really did need this. And you get that Flash and Kid Flash connection that you haven't gotten between Wally and Wallace, which is crazy because they are alternate versions of each other that kind of got auto corrected when we had Rebirth. So like, I always thought this relationship was weird that it's never touched upon. It's like the relationship between Wallace and Wally is never really.
That was one good thing about this issue is that Wallace did say like, hey, don't do something like you did when it was my birthday or whatever, and it's like talking about their past, that past that Wallace remembers. Obviously, we never got to see, and then Wally also remembers it. So that was really good to see that they did have a past. They did meet each other in some sort of timeline, right? So I appreciate that. There was a one little line, but it meant a lot more than just that,
Yeah, it was good. And then at the end, he's like, "Hey, I need you to babysit."
Yeah, no,
come on, Manny dropped the Flash, and this cover was good enough for you to pick it up. And I'm telling you, it was a good issue, and you enjoyed it.
Don't judge a book by its cover. The cover is great. No, no, man.
That's all I got to say.
There's one thing that they did mention when they went to Argentina. There was a kid that called him Flushman, and there was a little note that said, "Look up Flushman, Argentina. You'll be happy about it." And I just looked it up right now. Apparently, there is an Argentinian book of Flash called Flushman. And it's the Flash running, and it's the one with the planes on the back of like in the background. It's like a very famous publication. But yeah, Flushman #1 from Argentina is a thing.
That's like a cool little Easter egg,
Yeah,
dude. It was so enjoyable, and it took me by surprise because I didn't expect it to be so heartwarming and like entertaining and visually good that like it skyrocketed to #1.
Oh, you didn't even talk about the story, like you said, heartwarming. The story that Wally West says about when his time as Kid Flash, and explaining that to the current Kid Flash. That was I don't want to spoil it, but it was really, like you said, heartwarming. It's very very good story.
It was good. It was necessary. I really liked it. It's something that I felt like was missing. Like, you did all this effort to bring back all these characters, and then like we haven't done anything with it. And I'm like, it's all been about his kids, which I understand,
which is fine. Yeah,
I get it. Like, it was took an entire multiple events to bring Wally back, and then took more events to bring his kids back, and now we brought Roy back, and now like, okay, so when are we going to talk about all the characters that you brought back the first time?
Yeah, no, but overall, it's a pretty good first pick, but not a top. You're still 1 for 3, but really? Going into that, that's perfect to go into disappointments.
Okay. Disappointments.
No. My disappointment is with myself. Honestly, I've started realizing, and this is gonna go back to like my little negativities.
This is gonna get deep.
So back in 19. No, I just realized that judging like the way we're doing the top 3 every single week and stuff like that. judging a single issue is tough because many times, Nick, you're the one that calls me out on this, is that like, well, one issue is so bad, but overall the story of that issue might be like one of the best stories overall. It's hard to say that and be like, yeah, but you know what? Issue 3 really sucked. Issue 3 of that story was the worst. So like, I think after we're done here with our bracket for the year, my next venture will probably be judging a whole story. Like, so doing the 5 issues and then judging that
like
whole
arcs,
story.
like arcs,
Yeah.
right? Like arcs.
Art, exactly. Because
Okay.
it really is hard to judge one issue and say this issue sucked, but the story is great. The whole story overall.
My problem with that is that nowadays they do all these crossovers and events and stuff that spread arcs apart. So you never get to really enjoy, in major books at least, you never really get to enjoy these arcs anymore because they're like, pause, this happens.
Yeah.
Arc continues, pause. Then arc continues.
That's actually a pretty interesting point, and I think that the example that I just gave for me with Nightwing kind of applies. Like, let's say if we wanted to judge, right, or talk about the Heartless arc, it's like, well, that shit started in issue number 1, I guess, or no, issue number
like issue number 1.
Or sorry, issue number whatever, 78
when Tom Taylor took over.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. And then it was for like, the first 3 issues, and then you skip like 5, 7, 8, maybe 9 issues where he only makes like a little, appearance. It's like, yeah, it's kind of hard. Like, what is the Heartless arc really? Right? I mean,
and if in the future, if they ever collect that trade, you'll probably like, it'll be like 1 or 78 through 81 and then 84 through
because
whatever,
what Fear State happened.
Yeah, so
Fear State, yeah.
And then, but like they didn't go back. They did a bunch of other stuff. It's like he started a whole other story arc without finishing the first one.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to do. But
yeah.
But
yeah,
still,
no, and that's what this disappointed me. It's just like, I do like to judge each one book by the single issue, but some books, while the single issue is bad, you can't really judge that one issue because the story was so great, or one issue is really good, but the whole story actually sucks. Like it's just tough. So it was disappointing to realize that, and
like Spider-Man Beyond.
We'll change it. Yeah, like Spider-Man Beyond had a couple of good issues.
Yeah,
but overall,
it's horrible.
It was donkey ass.
Trash. We don't talk about it.
Is that all you gotta say?
That's all I gotta say.
Because my disappointment,
we need to do better.
My disappointment were all you people, all you people out there in the universe that love to run with shit and try to ruin it for other people. Because
what are you talking about?
So it has nothing to do with you two directly. So, and I had no idea that people were building up hype for this singular issue.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Based off of, it became a high spec book. And I've been reading it since issue 1. We're on issue 6. I've been enjoying it. And I don't pay attention to spec at all. I don't pay attention to it at all.
What is this? What are we talking about here?
We're talking about issue 6 of Hulk. Yeah. And this spoiler cover that got everyone freaking out. I don't even know because I don't pay attention till I got to my shop, and the dude had a stack of Hulk, and I'm like,
"Oh,
you never order this much Hulk. What happened?
Isn't this like the new big bad or whatever? The new
no. It was just a different form for Hulk that happened because Donny Cates is exploring Hulk from like a psychology point of view, and has really separated his psyches and his body in a physical form. So like you have Banner, who right now is all messed up and crazy, his psyche. Then you have freaking Hulk psyche, and then you have the physical form of Hulk living in with both these psyches living in it, and apparently there's other psyches living in that brain, living inside of Banner and Hulk that like one took the form of Betty, and slowly like,
What is this, Moon Knight? Like,
but like after all the stuff that's gone down with Hulk, he had like Banner had like a psychiatric break.
Okay.
And that was it. Like it was just, and this variant cover was just a spoiler cover because this is what was going to happen in this issue, and people spec it as a new character, like Carlos said. Oh, it's a new character. It's not. It's not a new character. Technically. It didn't appear. It never spoke. It didn't appear for that long. Maybe 2 pages, 3 pages.
It's gonna be the first appearance, and next issue is gonna be the first
first
cameo, and then
it's one of those cameo first appearance bullshit, whatever thing that happens.
But like,
so you're disappointed in people.
I'm disappointed in people that spec this book up without doing any research into it, because if you had read the series up to this point and realized this is a book exploring psychology, you would have realized that there's no way this is a new character, like or that big of a deal.
I mean, my thing is that with the whole like, I understand your frustration. I just feel like, dude, you could be disappointed. Fuck. That this could be your disappointment literally
every week,
or every other week.
Well, this is the first time I've noticed it
happened to you, I guess, with something that you've been directly reading.
It happened to a book that I've been reading, that I've been heavily invested in.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed.
I mean, it's shitty, but the way that I look at it is like this: if you're reading a book and that ends up happening, at least number one, you have it on your pull list, right? And number two, hopefully you don't have a comic shop that's, shitty, and that they're trying to, upcharge you for a book that you've been picking up from the very beginning,
that creates those problems. That's my big
right.
Because for me, obviously, my shop ordered way too many and didn't realize that it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
The guy that runs my shop was looking through it and was like, "What are they talking about? Why did I order all this? Like, nothing happened in this issue."
And that also is on on your shop, right? And on the shop owners for just trying to follow a hype
jumping
without
on that. Jumping on the bandwagon.
But also, shop owners kind of have to, so they don't run out.
True, but again, when he's like, "Hey, like, I don't even know why I ordered all this shit. I don't know what's going on." The shop owner's probably not really reading the book.
Well, that's one of the titles that he's not really reading. But at the same time, he's doing a good job because he's trying to make sure, because he knows his clientele. Like, oh, something big's happening with Hulk. I know that I have a lot of guys that are gonna want to hop onto it. Yeah. And then when he looks through it and he realizes like none of his guys are gonna want this.
It's his disappointment of the week as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it create these spec things create problems for the casual person, the dedicated guy with a pull list that loves his comics, and for these shop guys that are trying to stay afloat. These small independent shops that are really trying to cater to their clientele and their pull list guys, it makes it hard for everyone because some guy wants to be like, this is going to be a big thing. Everyone get it. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yep. Hey, man. Welcome to, the Spec Gaming Comics, man. It's unfortunate that,
Yeah, but honestly, personally, we shouldn't just write it off as like, oh yeah, this is a thing that happens. We should all band together and eliminate this trend and verbally punish.
Make it happen,
bro.
Go ahead.
You're like jumping into a conversation, man. That
Carlos, just be the change you want to see.
Dude, this is just I am the change that I want to be. That's why I pre-order my books, man. And I don't. Right. And I don't buy spec books. If they happen to be in my pile, they're in my pile. If it's like books that I'm reading.
Says the man that anytime a new independent title's coming out, he's like, I already got 3 copies of it.
Because he loves it, though.
That's different. I love it. And I continuously collect it. Radiant Black being an example,
Yeah. I know. This is something that I wish would, because it's a recent thing. It's a recent big thing, I feel like.
It's a recent
in the last
It's
Well,
recently coming back again. That's it.
it's a
It's just
recent, yeah, it's a recent. I want to say the last 2 years hardcore for sure. You know,
Because when I
but
was originally like when I was younger and I was really into comics,
you weren't paying
like,
attention.
but no, I don't remember in the
Right.
2010s it being that big of a deal.
Exactly.
it wasn't as bad.
Imagine because you were younger, and like when we watched movies as kids and even as teenagers, you watched the movie. Now it's what are we going to learn in this movie? What book? What first appearance is going to come out of from this
Yeah.
movie? What do
And-
we need from this movie? Like you see more things now that you're an adult. Unfortunately, you grew up. When
and-
you're a kid, you don't care.
And look, admittedly though, the whole spec game is over the last 2.5 years has definitely been the worst that it's been, you know, in a long time. And admittedly, it's way worse than it was in the early, you know, 2000s. But I mean, a lot of that, you know, I think is attributed to people, number one, discovering that they can make, you know, money off of other people and creating that hype. Number two, we now have all the movies, all the shows. Dude, like I said, this is definitely a conversation that we can have for fucking hours, man.
Pandemic did something too. So
And
there's that,
pandemic,
yeah.
100%, dude. Like,
People had more time to actually go in and build up hype for spec, you know.
Yep. And it's just honestly, this has happened across the collectible market, man. Not just even in comics. I mean, dude, watches, Pokemon cards again.
Digimon coming back.
Dude,
Yeah.
yes. All of that, you know. So again, I get it, but hopefully you won't be, you know, a victim of this shit again, man. I mean, you know, so
Do better.
Do better. That's
better. All of us.
Final
Everybody
word
watching.
on this is do better.
Manny can't do any better. Manny's already doing the
I
best.
already do the best, so you can't do better than the best. That's the thing.
You know,
All right, what's your disappointing, Carlos?
dude, my disappointment for the week, it's actually two things. And I'll go through them very quick. But my disappointment of the week is actually doesn't really pertain to something that happened this week, but it's still a disappointment because it happened to me this week, and it's kind of Manny's fault in a way. So so the only real knowledge that I have of Miss Marvel is from any comics that she's appeared in. A little bit of the Champions, Avengers books that I've read. Again, just books that she's been featured in, right? And I know enough about her. I know enough about her for her background, all of that stuff. Anyways, with that being said, Manny has been telling me, hey, you should really read Miss Marvel from the beginning. She's a great character. I love her, you know, all that good stuff. And I finally jumped.
This is the man that won't go back and reread anything.
I don't like to reread.
What?
Oh,
Man, yeah,
you're a hypocrite.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was another reason why I was like, you know what? Yeah, I should jump on Miss Marvel.
Never listen to Manny.
So I did. I jumped on her 2014 volume, her first volume, and I've been reading it. Great comic, great character.
Where's
love,
the disappointment?
Honestly, love.
Wrong segment.
Now, because I finally read this, when I first saw the trailer for the Miss Marvel show, for the Miss Marvel show, I hadn't really read her comics, right? So I saw it and I was like, this seems kind of goofy, you know, like I don't know, really not excited about the show. And I had read from, you know, comments of people that really love Miss Marvel, that they're just not looking forward to the show. They've changed her powers. They've changed a lot of aspects about, you know, who she is, what makes her, you know, Miss Marvel. That there's been a lot of inconsistencies with, you know, her religion, the depiction of, you know, Islam in the trailer. And I'll be honest, really didn't pay much attention to it, and I thought, man, a lot of people are getting so much from a trailer, and I'm usually an advocate of don't shit on the trailer and say that the movie or show is going to be bad. Like, watch it first, right? And that was my initial reaction. Now, after reading, you know, the comics, I'm really disappointed. I am legitimately disappointed in the way that they're seemingly approaching her character. I'm still giving the show the benefit of the doubt. Still gonna watch it. Things could definitely change, but the fact that it again seemingly she's getting her powers from some magical bangles instead of her becoming an inhuman, and her dealing with being able to shapeshift, and her thinking that at first she needed to look a certain way or that she needed to portray herself a certain way to feel validated, but then discovering that hey, I am like I should be happy with who I am, and being a superhero is about helping people. All of these things. The more that I'm learning about a character, the more that I'm disappointed in the trailer.
I am so sorry.
So this week, so this week I went back and I watched the trailer, and yeah, I was disappointed, and like I felt like upset, So that's my disappointment. That's my real disappointment for the week. My second disappointment, very quickly, is dude, I just saw the solicitation for the new Spidey suit that we're gonna get, and now he's gonna be working. He's gonna be working with Norman Osborn, and Norman's gonna give him this suit, and he's gonna be riding like on a Spidey glider, dude.
That's so stupid.
I don't care that Norman is now a good guy, dude. No, it's just another fucking gimmick. It's another gimmick. It's another Spidey suit that's gonna last 4
I'm freaking down with it. All right,
4 or 5 issues. 4 or 5 issues. That's not gonna matter. After we got the live streaming one, now we have Spidey riding around a Spidey glider.
Live streaming suit was sick.
No, it wasn't. With a little pouch, and I wrote this down. He's gonna have an egg bomb belt. That's what it's called. The egg bomb belt.
Why would Spider-Man have bombs?
Dude, like I'm sorry. Again,
because you're gonna throw them, and instead of web, it's gonna be egg, and you're gonna be stuck to the wall.
Spidey is my favorite character.
Oh,
I know that I've been shitting on him for like the longest
Carlos,
time.
It makes sense because spiders lay eggs.
Dude, I don't care. Like I don't care.
They lay eggs.
I am just upset.
Certain spiders lay eggs inside of their prey.
I am just upset.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good. I don't know. I think I'm gonna jump. I'm definitely gonna read the first arc, but I may jump on that bandwagon of jumping off the Spider-Man bandwagon
I don't know,
with
man.
you.
But anyways, those are my disappointments. I don't want to be negative anymore.
No more negativity. Yep. So best covers.
Best covers. Do it.
So with me, I know I just gave Nick a lot of crap, but the Flash 781 cover with a beat cover is beautiful, and it does kind of portray, like, unlike most variant covers, it does portray what's going to go happen inside the book. The cover though looks a lot better than how the story went. Just throwing that out there, but it's beautiful cover, white background, colors are popping.
Yes.
Flash. That's how you.
Originally, when I saw the solicitation for it, I was like, "Oh, this looks goofy." Like,
no, I loved it.
I thought I just, for something about it, just didn't really like it. I was like, but then when I saw it in person, I was like, "Oh wow, this is like a really good cover."
Colors, especially.
I was excited because I know you guys like white backgrounds. I don't normally enjoy white backgrounds, so. It was really good. Like I'm thoroughly happy that I was wrong.
It's not that it's a white background. It's that it's a solid color backgrounds.
Yep.
White, I usually think just, I don't know, any stain, any bend, anything that can happen to the comic itself.
Take care of it. Take care of your comics.
Yeah. Take care of your comics is not an issue.
Take your comics.
What are you talking about?
But it's not even that. It's before they get in your hands. You never know.
It's like I fucking hate it when I'm eating hot Cheetos, and every single time fingerprints on my white cover. Why does this happen, guys? You don't understand.
I'm trying to eat my chicken soup and read my book at the same time. I get soup all over, man.
Got my fry grease,
dude. Yes,
all over my book.
Spaghetti sauce. It just runs down.
What's your cover, Nick?
All right.
Covered.
So we got issue 1
Issue 1.
foil variant for Vampire Slayer. Not Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
Just
issue 1
vampires.
from the world of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Interesting.
That cover actually looks pretty cool, man.
The color is really
They're
great.
doing a series
It's pretty cool.
for this series of foil covers. And obviously, you guys, as my friends, know I'm a sucker for 90s, early 2000s foil covers,
Me too.
80s.
Me too.
That hand popping out. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The way it's
I
popping out.
very much enjoy
cover,
this.
That is a
It's
cool
definitely not to the level of like a 90s or 80s foil cover, but it's still good. And colors are cool, interesting cover. Definitely something I didn't expect going into it.
Yeah.
And just because I suggest you all get this series, the Vampire Slayer in this series is not Buffy. It is Willow.
Does she
Willow.
still have her powers?
Yes,
Cool.
she has
Alright.
her
That's all
powers,
that matters.
and she's
Okay.
the Vampire Slayer. And basically, Buffy has like replaced her as like the goofy, like friend that like is kind of trying to help and like kind of gets in the way.
Nice.
I'm really like, it was previewed in the 25th anniversary issue that this was going to happen. There was like a small sneak peek into what was to happen next.
Mhm.
And we are already getting the miniseries of Angel, which is in like an alternate universe.
But question here: if it's so good and we should read it, how come it's not your number 1 pick? Liar.
Not even number
it's
3.
Not my
Not even
number
number
1
10.
pick
Propaganda.
because not a lot really happens.
I'm just messing with you. I'm messing
This
with
book
you.
is not that great, but you should read it.
It's good. And like I told you guys before we
Messing with you,
started,
just messing with you.
I liked every single book that I got this week. There was not a single book that I was truly disappointed
nice.
in the actual story.
That's always nice.
I
sure.
was disappointed in the spec shit, but that was it. Usually I complain directly about a book, about the artwork, about like I rip a book apart. I had no problems. It was very hard actually to pick my top 3 because everything
cool.
was very
Good.
close together. But that was when I see a book and I'm like, okay, I really like this cover. I'm gonna make this my cover of the week, and then I don't feel bad about not making it in my top 3.
That's
Makes
cool.
sense.
Yep.
Yes, solid, awesome
Sure,
book.
yeah.
They're doing a lot of really cool
Good cover.
variants.
Nice.
Carlos,
Uh,
any-
Studios.
Dude, for me, easily B cover for Animal Castle this week. It's just a beautiful cover, man. Like Miss B with her 2 kittens, like it's a great cover, man. Great art.
I didn't see this cover like on League of Comic Geeks. I didn't get to actually see it. For some, I don't know. I guess I was too busy. I saw it in the store and I was like, "What the? You're coming home with me?" I definitely had to buy it. So
You got it. Oh,
yeah,
sweet,
I definitely got it. I
Yeah.
still like the Flash one better, but
Yeah.
that was a tough pick.
Yeah, man. It's just a really heartwarming cover, man. Like it's a
Yeah.
beautiful cover. Simple.
It
That's
doesn't match the story at all.
No.
Does not.
But that's okay. It's okay. It's a B cover, and
Maybe it's a hopeful future.
maybe, yeah, maybe. What I at least do like though is that it shows the motherly love that Miss B has for 2 kittens, and the fact that she's again just cuddling with them. They got a book. They're they're reading, just chilling. You see Miss B have that affection towards her kittens in the book. So that's why it just gives it that extra special kick for the cover. So yeah, easily my favorite pick. Animal Castle has had some really amazing covers. So not only has the story been great, but the covers have been just wonderful. So yeah, that's my pick.
It's a good pick. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
Yep.
To our most anticipated. So if this is the part that you're looking forward to earn your points to get the giveaway and hopefully win these 2 free books, this is where you want to listen. For me, my most anticipated. I have a couple of things that I am anticipating, but if I had to choose just one, this is going to be a book outside of my series, and it's a Death of Justice League. I'm looking forward to the prelude to the Dark Crisis. DC's trying to do something, so I'm excited for Death of Justice League.
Quick question: are you really gonna jump deep into into this event? Like, you know, really?
Carlos.
No. He doesn't always. No, he doesn't always.
Does. Every event
Manny,
that
you don't
that he gets into, he buys everything.
Not every event.
Not every event, but
90%.
Let me see your boxes. Let me see those boxes behind you.
Fine.
Those are all events.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fuck me for being curious.
No, I think I'm not gonna go fully into it, but there are a couple of titles in it, like the Young Justice one. I kind of do want to get. I don't know if the Multiversity Earth 11 one is a tie-in of the Dark Crisis, but that one also has me a little curious. But Dark Crisis, anything that's for sure Dark Crisis like main title, I'm definitely gonna read those because it's intriguing. Even though I am also fed up with Crisis, I still want to read it. So I mean, I'm just fighting myself here.
Crisis.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay, let's hop in. Okay, so we got next week. Solid week. I think I'm most anticipating issue, what is it, 22 or something is killing the children. Very excited for it to be back. I really liked issue 21. And the series of die cut covers is really cool.
Yes.
And just coming right behind it, very close. I would say issue 11 of Alien. Obviously, you know, I really like that title. And
the Predator coming up, not in this next week, but
yeah, I don't know. It's been like 2 or 3 years of that being delayed. But cover wise, just so you guys get a hint, Deathstroke Incorporated has the sickest B card stock coming out. It's like a super retro, like late 90s cover.
All right.
Carlos, what you got?
Nothing. He doesn't actually read his comics.
For me, like Nick, really excited for Something Is Killing the Children 22. Quick little hint, it's probably going to be in my top 3. I mean,
yeah, it might make it.
Probably going to be in my top 3, maybe. But I'm also really looking forward to Step by Bloody Step.
I forgot that's coming out.
Yeah, who knows? It might make it into my into my top 3. You know, I mean, who knows? You know, it's been good. Another book that I'm looking forward to that might be a surprise from Image Comics, brand new, Bloodstained Teeth. I always enjoy vampire stories. I know vampire stories can be very played out, but I'm a sucker for vampire stories. The premise looks really interesting. The artwork looks great. So who knows? Might be a surprise hit. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And I'm actually really looking forward to Dark Knight Steel #6.
Yes.
I've been enjoying the story. It hasn't. I don't think that it's made my top 3, but it's been so damn good, and it's growing every issue. It grows on me even more. So who knows? It might make a surprise appearance.
A title that I forgot to just mention because I was looking at the variant cover and not the actual cover is that this is like the second to last issue of Teen Titans Academy. And super excited because we might be getting Cybeast. And
which we should never have to get in the first place.
Oh, dude, I'm so hyped that they're doing it. Like, if it's just a consistent,
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. The main A cover is them fighting, and they're both in like comas right now.
Yeah,
and
we're gonna get Cybeast. You guys are. It's just gonna be a permanent thing. Dark
Crisis is gonna undo it.
Dark Crisis is gonna make him like the leader of the Justice League.
Interesting.
Leader. Wow. All right. This is where we cut you off.
Cyborg was a big Justice League guy. Remember? New 52. He was like the biggest Justice
What did
League
you just
member.
say? Was? I believe that's past tense.
Yeah, but now with Dark Crisis and everyone's dead,
Mm.
Cyborg has to step back up. Now he's half Beast Boy, so now it's two brains,
got Red
and they're
Tornado,
leaving the
it's
whole
fine.
Justice League. And because he's green, he can replace Martian Manhunter.
Interesting.
Man, last book. I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm actually looking forward to this because
Issue 1 of Spider-Man.
issue 1 of Spider-Man because
No.
I want to confirm my suspicions that I'm not gonna enjoy it. Like
That I'm
so,
dropping it. That I'm
that-
dropping it.
yeah,
That
man.
I'm
So,
dropping-
All
I don't
You
right.
know.
guys suck.
That's it for me, guys.
Scotty
Well,
Young cover, baby. Scotty
before-
Young cover. That's all you
Before I
need to
wrap
know.
this up, we did forget an honorable mention. It was my honorable mention as well, but Nick brought it up and showed us before we started this. So, Nick, will you do the honors of giving us an honorable mention of best cover for the week? Because it really was.
It really
beautiful.
was a good cover, if I can find it. Is the Jenny Fersen Catwoman,
Yep.
which I'm pretty sure she's currently doing the series. I
She's
think
been
the last
killing it,
artist
man.
ended her variant series or their
Killing it.
variant series, and now she's taken over.
Nah, dude, she's been on Catwoman
She
consistently
has been the
For a while.
cover. Okay,
for a while.
because someone ended. Maybe it was it was Robin.
Yeah.
His
It was
series.
Robin.
Oh,
That was
Yeah,
Francis
Manapul.
Manapul. Yeah.
yeah,
But no,
that
dude,
ended.
Frisman has been killing it, man, for like, I don't know, fucking 30 issues or something, man.
Dude, it's just really like beautiful. Really beautiful. Like that's what I like about DC and their cardstock covers. They really give an extra artist a chance to shine because normally these cardstock covers are something incredible.
Yep.
And just being on that thicker material lets it stand out like double the amount.
Yep.
And also, did you notice that white background?
Yes, I know. And that's why this week I was very like, wow, there's two cardstock covers with white backgrounds.
It's
and I
almost
like
like you
them both.
like white backgrounds.
Yeah.
That's weird. Huh, you bought both of them, so no. But with that, we got the honorable mentions in. Everyone hopefully was listening to what we're gonna pick. So make sure you put in the comments what you think we're gonna get for our very top pick next week. You don't have to do this, but if you want to like, subscribe, all that good stuff,
Comment,
please
let me
do.
know that I'm the best.
No, I just looked up the Deathstroke Inc. #8 B cover, and I just never want to listen to you again. So, but with that, thank you guys for
You gotta be
watching.
shitting
Truly
me.
appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care, everybody.
See you later.